Welcome to my channel where we look at math problems that students often have issues with. Together, we're going to find that math can be easy. Together, we're going to look at basic factoring. So say we have a problem like this. X squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. I'd say that's a pretty typical factoring problem. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to say, you know what, if a times b equals 0, we've got something times something else equals 0. Well, what is 0 times something? It's 0. So, what happens if a is 0? Does it matter what b is? It doesn't matter. So, a equals 0 is a solution. If we can find a solution to a being 0, we've got the whole thing. Likewise b. So what we're going to do that? We're just going to say, you know what? We've got something times something else equals 0. And all factoring is figuring out what's that something. So we look at this and say, okay, how do we get x squared? Well, we got to multiply x times x. Okay? Well, now it's going to be a little more difficult because we got to figure out how to get the rest of it. So what you need is two numbers that multiply to give you 6. And they have to add to give you 1. I'm sorry, it's negative 6. Right? Got to be careful with those negatives. So to get 6, well, that's 1 times 6. I like to just list out all the possibilities. Usually there's not too many. Or I could do 2 times 3. I think that's it, right? Got to be careful because one of these is negative, but I don't know which one. I look over here to figure that out. I want to add to give you 1. So if I make the bigger one negative, I'm going to get negative answer. So let's make the smaller number negative. So that'd be this one or that one. And then we add them together. That's going to be 5. I clearly did that one wrong. Which is bigger, 2 or 3? I don't know. There we go. So 3 minus 2 is 1. Well, we want two numbers that add to give you 1. So it's clearly negative 2 and 3. And we're pretty much done. All we have to do is say, okay, negative 2 and positive 3. Are we done? No. Because we don't know what x is. We're done factoring. So if the problem was just saying factor, we'd be done. Stop right here. Don't go any further. But instead, we need to say, okay, a times b equals 0 means either a, which is the first one, equals 0, or the second one equals 0. Well, this is pretty simple, right? Just add 2. So x is going to be 2. Or we'll subtract 3 and get negative 3. Now we're done. We've solved for x. I would highly recommend, when you do problems like these, plug it into the original, because I can't tell you how many times I've made just little mistakes like, hey, which is bigger, 2 or 3? So, I'd recommend you plug it in, and that'll just help you identify those. I'm not going to do that today, just because I don't want to waste your time doing that. Let's try another example. What if we have x squared minus 7x plus 12? And again, we're going to set it equal to 0, just because I like to actually solve for x. Keep in mind, the two questions are very similar. Okay? So we already know how to do this, right? We do double bubble, put our x's in, and we just got to figure out what these two numbers are. So we need two numbers that multiply to give you 12 and add to give you negative 7. So, two numbers that multiply to give you 12. Well, 1 and 12. Or we could do 2 and 6. I'm just listing them out, right? 3 and 4. And that's it. So now what about negatives? Well, it's a positive 12, which means either these both have to be positive or both have to be negative. Well, if we look at the sign on this one, this has to add to give you negative 7. I don't know of any way we can add two positive numbers to get a negative number. So that means we're going to need two negative numbers. So all of these are negative. And I need to find the one that adds up to give you negative 7. And then, probably not a stretch to say, you know what, it's that. And we're done. All we got to do is say minus 3, minus 4. And continuing on, we have this equal to 0. So x equals 3 and 4. And there we are. We've solved 2 problems with basic factoring. What happens if we do this? What happens if we have a problem like this? Can we factor this the same way? Well, kind of. But I'm going to give you a better way in the next video. So make sure you tune in. If you like this video, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. If you're in need of a math tutor, contact me and I'll send you an email telling you how I go about doing it. My email's in the description. Remember, math can be easy.